What's up, Fire Nation? If you're here, it's because you don't play small. Fire Nation is for the ones fueled by passion, driven by growth, and hungry to build real wealth. Not just for yourself, but for your family and future generations. This isn't just a channel. This is a movement. And if you're watching, you're already part of it. I'm Miss Blue Fire, always taking you higher. Let's light it up. What's up, Fire Nation? If you don't play small and you're here to build, you're in the right place. I'm Miss Blue Fire, always taking you higher. Let's light it up. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, Fire Nation. Good afternoon, everybody. Everybody that's here, please like the live as you enter. And for the people on the playback, good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you are. I hope peace finds you. Time come blessings listening in Fireball. Every week you have a new name for me. Oh my goodness. Bless you. Like up the live, Fire Nationals. All right, big up. Yeah. So people, tonight we have some thinking to do. We really have some thinking to do. And I don't mind leading the charge where that is concerned. We're going to talk about the charts. And we're going to shine a light on why it is that we need to get serious. Right? We need to get serious about dancehall as an industry. Period. Right? There's a lot of infrastructure missing. A lot of things missing that if we have the right respect for what it is that we have, wouldn't be missing. These are facts. It's just facts. Now, I want to ask you, Fire Nation, a question. Right? You guys can hear me, right? Tell me if you can hear me, you know. Hold on. Put a fire flame in the chat if you can hear me, please. Because I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. I can wait. I'm relaxed tonight, so. One of you people in the bush, none of the people in the bush want to write. Seriously? The comedy? Anyway, I hope I like the live. All right. Anyway, so listen. Let me type it and see, because maybe you can't hear me for true. Hold on. Can you hear me? Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Exponential? Good afternoon, my dear. Good to see you. Let me know if you can hear me, please. That's why you're the prefect, you know, because the rest of them just want to stay in the bush. They didn't bring the pencils to class. Tell me if you can hear me. Yes? Good. Thank you very much. You get a star. Right? So, okay. So let me start back. Right? So I want to ask you guys a question. I want you guys to really, really think. Think with me. Think with Miss Bluefire. How can the birthplace of dancehall, the birthplace of reggae, one of the most influential music cultures on this entire earth, this entire planet, right, not have a universally recognized national chart that tells the world what Jamaicans in Jamaica are actually listening to? Think about it. The United States have one. United Kingdom have its own. Canada have one. Australia have one. Right? Even other smaller markets have official chart systems. And this is my thing. That's why sometimes you see, when I see us adopting the foolishness from the States, I'm like, why don't we adopt the good things? Why don't we adopt the things that we actually need? instead of relying on other people things, relying on other people charts, right? And we're gonna go into it because I've always thought about it. See what I'm saying? Like I have a purpose to become wealthy because there are certain things I want to be able to help when I'm able to. Because these things are important, right? Jamaica, the country that influenced, think about it, the country that influenced hip hop, Afro beats, reggaeton, drill, even the UK grime, what them listen to, right? And most of the other popular music around the globe don't have a single transparent, nationally recognized chart that everyone can point to. Right? And before anybody say any foolishness like, oh, charts don't matter. Charts don't write songs and charts don't create talent, right? Charts do something just as important than measure. These are just facts. That's why people still have them. And if you can't measure something consistently, it's much harder to market it. It's much harder to monetize it. And most importantly, people, is much harder to preserve our history. And I'm going to explain to you why, right? For instance, if I said to you, G, what was the biggest song playing in 1975 in Jamaica? Nobody can tell me. What was the biggest song in Jamaica in 1975? Nobody can tell me that. We have no data. Data is important, especially to business people, right? So these are things that we need to get sorted. And producers will actually benefit from this too. But anyhow, I will get into that. I'll get into that. That deserves its own life too. But I'll get into it. But I want you guys to think with me tonight, like you always do. And everybody on the playback, think about it. We have to be aware of these things in order to change it together, right? Good. Now, imagine if you try run a business without financial statements and just wing it, right? Or say you're even coaching like a swim team or something and you don't keep score. That's what it's like to try to grow an industry without reliable measurements. You cannot do that, right? So it's not about fan wars. It's not about proving one artist is better than another artist. It's not about that, right? What gets measured gets managed. It's facts. That's why when you have goals, you say, where am I now? Where I want to be. Is transition, right? And guess what? What gets managed gets what? Improved. That's the whole point of managing something, so it don't get out of hand. And so more than likely that it can improve and not just stay the same. Right? So we're going to explore tonight why Jamaica deserves better. Right? And I hope after I finish tonight that you understand crystal clear that the charts is not just about ranking. It's not just about ranking. It's actual infrastructure. These are things that we are missing. Because guess what? It's also a business tool. And I told you, it's evidence and a historical record. You see what I'm saying? And it will be something that allow, like right now, the other charts, what do they allow? They allow the artists, the producers, the songwriters, all of the people in the industry to speak the same language, the numbers. Right? And, sometimes too, when you think about like the debates that you have on the platforms and the debates that we have over the years, and like there's some well-thinking gentlemen on the platforms and them trying to, they're sorting through it. And ladies too. But think about how many times we've asked these questions. Who is the biggest? Who running the place? Who are the hottest song? Who really moved the culture? Most of those conversations in Fire Nation, they would be much more informed if there was a trusted, transparent data that everyone could see, and everybody could use. right? And of course, it's not going to solve every argument. Duh, it's not, right? Right? But it will give like a stronger foundation for discussing like commercial performance as well. And it would preserve Jamaica's musical history. All right, imagine this. Say me and you all and gone and dead, pass off and gone, right? 50, 60 years from now. And say there's a young producer. Say you're a great, whatever, grandchild. Become a young producer. And he want to know, like, what Jamaica sound like in 2026. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's true. You can go back and, listen to tapes and stuff like that. But instead of like those scattered playlists and opinions, you can actually refer to, like, say, a chart position. Right? Makes sense. And, we need to be able to document our own success as well. That is very important. That's a part of the pride that is missing, I think. We need to be able to document our own success. Right? We should be able to tell our story better than anybody else in the world. It's facts. So that's why this discussion tonight matters. So I'm glad you guys are here because I want us to think about it, and I want you to think about it later on when you are alone. Exponential said we don't see the need for it until we are left behind. We are already behind. That's the problem. We are already way behind. We can't want these things without having you can't want all of these things. And we don't even have the basics like a chart. Our own chart. Listen, you see, if you don't take yourself seriously, nobody else is going to take it seriously. If you don't take your own business seriously, nobody else is going to take your business seriously. I'm telling you what I know. You see what I'm saying? You cannot expect somebody to respect something of yours unless they're just a good person that you don't respect. These are facts. Time, same thing. All right, let's continue. So it's going to be a short one tonight, but it's going to be a deep one. So again, I'm going to go over this. We went over it before, but the TEA, track equivalent album, right? Individual song purchases converted into album units. SEA, that's the streaming equivalent, right? Streams converted into album units. Pure sales, that's the actual album purchases. Full album bought physically or digitally, right? So 10 songs downloads equals to 1 album unit for TEA. Okay, so example, we have went through this already. I know most of you guys know this, right? So album has 10 songs, fan buys all of those tracks. Once 10 tracks from that album are purchased, the chart system counts it as 1 TEA album unit. So that's the difference between the album unit and the pure sales. Same thing with the SEA is different, 1,500 streams. No, it's different for Canada as well. And also it's different with advertising. It depends on how you have with the streaming, right? If it was ad supported or not. Okay. So we're not going to spend too much time on that because you guys know this, right? Okay, let me give you an example. So Vibes Cartel released an album, which he just did. 100 people buy the album. What is that? Pure sales. That's the pure sales. Okay, the TEA 0, SEA 0, total 100 units. 100 pure sales. Now, scenario B, 1,000 people each buy one song. TEA 100 album units, because 1,000 song purchases divided by 10 is 100 album units. So it's an album units, not a pure sale. That's the difference. Same thing with the streams, 150,000, right? SEA 100 album units. Why? 150,000 divided by 1,500, right? 100 album units, right? Now it's different with the United Kingdom, right? So the biggest thing to understand is that Canada and United States heavily use TEA and SEA in their major album charts. The UK uses a different streaming formula. Jamaica does not have a globally recognized album chart system, right? Comparable to the Billboard's album equivalent methodology. So this is some examples. This is the use of it, right? So United States uses it a lot, the TEA and the SEA. Canada, United Kingdom, 8, Jamaica, 2. We don't have that much of a big one, as we were talking about before, big market, right? So United States, TEA use, yes. SEA use, yes. Billboards combine pure sales, TEA and SEA. Same with Canada. Because parent company, we have the similar. It's similar. It's the same. Sorry, right? United Kingdom, TEA uses limited. SEA use, yes, right? Uses a special album streaming formula that downweights the biggest hits on an album. The reason why they do this. Good evening, Kenny. Good to see you. Good to see you, Kenny Marshall. Good to see you, my dear. Right? The reason they do this, okay, is because they don't want, like said, as an album have like 2 really big hits and it's streaming really well. They don't want it to artificially inflate the album. Right? Makes sense. Okay, good. Jamaica, no standardized TEA or SEA charts. Relies more on platform data, right? Like the YouTube, radio, streaming performance, and international charts. We're relying on other things, other people's things. Why does this matter for us, Fire Nation? A lot of fans said the album sold 20,000 copies. That may not mean 20,000 people bought the album, right? It could be a mixture. Okay, good. So once you know that, right now, SPS, sales plus streaming, which is the pure sales plus TEA plus SEA. That's what it's called, right? So when discussing an artist, Fire Nation, always ask how many were pure sales. Pardon me, I'm having a drink. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's nice. Always ask how many are pure sales, how much was TEA, how much was SEA, right? Those 3 numbers tell the very different stories about the behavior like we talk about, right? So let's say Vibes Cartel dancehall discussion. One of the most important distinctions is pure sales, people opened their wallets and bought the project. TEA, people bought individual songs. SEA, people stream the music. All 3 matter, but they measure 3 completely different forms of fan support. So yes, the UK uses album equivalent units, but it doesn't use the exact same TEA and SEA system as the US, right? Actually, it actually takes the top performing 16 songs on the album, right? And if it's have less than 16 songs, they use all of them, and then they divide it by 1,000. But I'll explain that after. I'll explain that. Anyway, so sorry, I should just, Julia, follow the script, Julia. Just don't go off. Okay, let's follow the script, guys. What the UK uses, the UK's official album charts combines the 16 most streamed tracks from an album. Did I write that right? Yes. Then divides the result by 1,000 to create album stream units. So those units are treated like album purchases for chart purposes. So physical sales, that would be like the vinyl cassettes. Digital album sales, the full album downloads. Streaming equivalent album streams converted into album units. Okay, this is the UK twist though. This is what they do. So they have that special rule, as I told you, to stop 1 or 2 massive hit songs, let me slow down, from making the whole album look bigger than it really is, right? So they have a downweight system. They downweight the biggest tracks before converting streams into album units, right? So that helps to avoid the situation where one viral single can carry the entire album. So here's the streaming rule. 1,000 streams is 1 album unit. They call it stream equivalent album unit. Top 16 tracks counted. Only up to 16 tracks from the album are used, right? And then that's added to sales. Okay. So this is an example. If an album gets 500 digital album sales, 500, of course, 300,000 counted album streams, 300 units. Total UK chart units, 800, right? 300,000 streams divided by 1,000 is 300 album units. You can see that. Very easy, right? So the UK basically says they count album sales and they count streams too, but they adjust the stream so one hit song does not unfairly carry the whole album, right? So pure sales still matter to UK system, of course, and the streaming matters too, right? But they try to measure the album popularity. They try to measure the album popularity, not just the single song popularity. They want to see how well the whole album did, not just the song on the album did. Up, Dancehall War. Big up, big up, big up, big up, bro. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Right? People check out Dancehall War on YouTube as well as on TikTok. Right? Always have spirited conversations, really good conversations. Right? A matter of fact, I get a lot of inspiration for some topics from Dancehall War, from the discussions that we have. So big up Dancehall War and big up the panel over there. Now, we need to go into the reasons Jamaica needs her own chart. It's detrimental to us, Fire Nation, that we don't have our own. All right? This is what we should be talking about. Okay? This is what we should be talking about. The absence of comprehensive Jamaican charting system creates several problems for artists, for producers, for promoters, for media, and for fans. For everybody is affected. Right? People think that, oh, it don't affect me. Yes, it does. It does. Number one, we can't measure success. I said that before. Right? In the US, the people can look at the Billboard Hot 100, 200, the radio charts. Right? The UK officials singles charts, official albums chart. Right? They can objectively answer what is the biggest song in the country this week. We can't say that. Instead, what we say, oh, me here say, everybody I play it, it feel big. That's not measurements. I'm sorry. It's not measurements. Guys, listen to me. I'm not being hard. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Right? Before we demand things, we need to fix inside of the house to make sure that we are taken seriously. These are facts. And I'm only saying these things because I care. Then there's going to be the endless artist wars, even though I love the conversations, right? A proper chat would have settled so many arguments, right? Today, everybody, cartel bigger, being a bigger, this one bigger according to what? So without a domestic chat, everyone choose their own metric and say which one weigh more, right? And people cherry pick evidence, right? Nobody agrees. It's facts, right? Right? It wouldn't end the arguments completely, as I always say, but it would give people a common scoreboard, right? Another thing, this is what I'm talking about, the investment. This is what I'm talking about right here, right here. Should I put this as number 2? Should I make this number 1 or number 10? Anyhow, it's good. Advertisers don't know where to spend. Listen, brands love data. We like to see what worked, how much tickets were sold, right? All of that. Imagine a company wants to sponsor dancehall. Their first question is, which songs are performing the best? In America, the data exists. In the UK, the data exists. In Jamaica, it's often fragmented, right? So guess what? Less confidence, less sponsorship, less money entering our genre. These are facts. And guess what? The artist can't properly market success. Right? Imagine an artist being able to say, yo, you know, I had a number 1 song in Jamaica for 6 weeks. That's a nice marketing tool right there. It really is. That is a marketing tool, right? They can say that. The promoters then notice. The sponsors them notice that, right? And if the sponsors notice, follow the money, people. The media notice. You understand? And from the media notice, guess what? The international labels notice. It is a line. It's a line. I should have put arrows. Julia, why you didn't put arrows? You put full stops. Well, that's okay. You were just writing. Listen, these are supposed to be arrows. Look, promoters notice, the sponsors notice, then the media notice, and guess what the media does? It gives you boom, 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 spread. Then the international labels notice. See what I'm saying? Without a chart, many achievements remain invisible. That's why sometimes we have some bad artists, right? right? And the thing is too, that's why I don't like when, well, I shouldn't even say that anyway. It's okay. Carry on. People free to think the way they're supposed to think. Let's continue. All right. So Jamaica now. This also too will lose our historical records. Imagine, like what I was saying before. What if I now want to know? What if I want to do a documentary on Jamaica? Right? And I can't answer the question. In 1987, what was Jamaica's biggest song? What was the biggest song in 1993 again? Right? All the time the answers become debates instead of documented facts. It's just a fact. Why we, the birthplace of dancehall, the birthplace of reggae, the most influential genre on the entire earth, why do we have to rely on memory? That's a big cultural loss. Big up 3Z Records. Good to see you. That's a big cultural loss, guys. And that's why I always say now, you see the first time I came on YouTube, right? The first thing I said on another platform was a lot of the problems we have in our culture is from a lack of respect. A lack of respect that we have for each other. A lack of respect, even the fact that producers and artists can't get along, that was a lack of respect from the past. A lack of respect that we have for our own music. Why we don't take the business part of it so serious. Right? Like, when is that curse going to break? Of nobody can do to Jamaica what Jamaica does to Jamaica, you know. These are facts. We have to break this curse. Okay? And take action too. Right? These are facts. Some things you cannot just pray away. You need to actually act. That's why I told you the other day when I was reading scripture, when every miracle that was performed, the person had to act. Talitha Kumi, him tell her maiden get up and walk. And she had to get up and walk. Take up your bed and walk. You actually have to do an act. Wilt thou be made whole? Are you willing to be made whole? You're willing to do what you need to do. These are facts. We need to understand what we have. I don't know when we're going to learn. Right? We need to take ourselves more seriously. Now, international industry takes Jamaica less seriously. These are facts. Right? The global music industry, it speaks one language, which is data. Executives want sales, streams, radio audience, chart positions. Without a recognized chart system, Jamaica sometimes struggles to communicate its domestic success. It's facts. Why you relying on YouTube? In our format, international business, understand, we need to be able to compete. So in other words, in order, you cannot compete if you don't know the rules of the game. You cannot compete if you don't speak the language. Every industry has its language. We need to be able to be competitive. We are competitive in talent and skill, but we need to be competitive in the other factors, which is the data. And I hope I'm inspiring somebody coming up after me. There are things I want to do in my lifetime, yes, but is Uno going to have to make the changes? You hear? Because most people my age, they're not thinking about this. These are facts. And the generation above us, they're comfortable. So I hope Uno uncomfortable enough. Please get uncomfortable. Because we shouldn't be comfortable with this at all. So please be uncomfortable, younger people. Right? Now, the producers, some of them are young people, Uno lose recognition. All of them who want to be producers in the future. A chat don't just help artists, it affect you too. Imagine being able to say, Yo, you know what? I produced 12 Jamaica number one songs. Imagine being able to say that with the data. Big up Change 183. Big up yourself. Good to see you. Always good to see you. Right? That increases value. And not only that, is marketing, is positioning. It's positioning. Without charts, many accomplishments go undocumented. Right? And we can't measure the genre's health. A proper chart will be able to say, to let us know, is dancehall growing? What's going on? Is reggae growing? Right? Is gospel growing? Is soca growing? Without a chart, people guess. With a chart, people know. I'm telling you, business people love numbers. We love numbers. We love data because it's information. Big up Tuggy Frost. Big up. Good to see you, Tuggy Frost. Good to see you. Good to see you, bro. Right? You missed class tonight. It's a short one. We're almost done, but I think you'd like it. So go back over it from the beginning. And you know what? The fans don't understand their power as well. Big up, Mr. Noble. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Noble. My Gaza, bro. Good to see you. Good to see you. Bless you. Right? Fans often underestimate what they're doing. Right? So a chart will show our sales, our streams, our radio impact. Right? So you can imagine a fan base being able to say, wow, we were able to push this song to number one. So you can actually show the artists how you help them to actually achieve their goal. Right? That creates community participation. K-pop does it. Right? The charts become part of their culture. It's a fact. Look at the other people. That's why I say cross-pollination is good. Don't just buckle yourself up into one little prison. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Go look at other charts. Explore other cultures and look at what it is. And ask yourself, why is it that we don't deserve that? Why we can't do it? As inventive as we are. Right? With everything that we are follow. And this is the type of thing that we're supposed to be following. Instead of relying on other people's charts. Big up yourself, Tex. Numbers in that's right. It's all about numbers. Okay, we'll do Thank says, right? It's a fact. And people don't see this, but you have to be able to see far. People, Fire Nation, you know. We always talk about solution-based thinking as well as seeing farther than the average person. Right? We miss tourism opportunities. All right. Imagine if all of these things here, the Jamaica top 100 songs, 50 dancehall songs, 20 reggae songs, that was updated weekly. Right? Visiting Jamaica, the tourism could say, you know what? Oh, okay, this is what Jamaica is listening to right now. That's cultural branding in a lot of ways. Right? So we cannot convert our cultural impact into business intelligence. This is the problem. And this is why we always have question marks about the cultural impact of an artist in their time. Charts will help show us the cultural impact. It will help to show it. Right? Dancehall is creating millions of dollars in value globally. But without a robust charting infrastructure, much of the value is difficult to measure. If it's difficult to measure, then it's difficult to package. And if it's difficult to package, it's difficult to market. And if it's difficult to market, it's difficult to monetize. Okay? These are facts. That's why countries with strong music industries, they invest heavily in charts. Why you just follow the money? I always say this, follow the money, people. Why you think them invest so heavily in them charts? Why? It must be for a reason. Right? Again, the charts are not just scoreboards, people. They're business tools. Right? And in today's music industry, have you looked around? Bless up East Badness. Bless up East Badness. Good to see you. Good to see you. right? Your business tools. And in today's music industry, what gets measured gets marketed. Okay? And what gets monetized gets invested in. How are you going to demand investment? You don't even have a proper chart system. What gets invested, it grows. Right? We need to develop a respected, transparent, data driven national chart system. Okay, I'm going to go into to what the RIAA is, right? But I'm very passionate about this. If you know, I don't get that's why I had to build my own table, because you can't be on other people live and talking so much. But I'm very passionate about this thing. I was like, you know what, you have to build your own table, really and truly, right? We have songs, we have radio stations, we have the DJs, right? We have street buzz. But we have Spotify rankings, Apple Music rankings, but we don't have one major national album chart that works like a Billboard or a Luminate, right? That's ridiculous. We are the birthplace of reggae, the birthplace of dancehall, the birthplace. And what are those things? The most influential music forms in genres in across the earth. So instead of having an official scoreboard, what we have to rely on, we have a piece, separate pieces of evidence, right? So now we have to use YouTube views. And guess what? What are YouTube views? That might include global viewers, not just Jamaica, clearly, right? Apple Music, Jamaica, okay, that's only for streaming. That's not for full sales, plus the TEA, plus the SEA. It's facts. Look it up if you don't believe me. Right? Yes, there's the iTunes reggae chart, but that's sales base. That's not a full national album consumption chart. It's not. The second, listen to me, generation after me, do not be satisfied with this. Right? Radio play, yes, that measure airplay, but it don't measure purchases, so it don't measure total consumption. Then there's the street buzz. That's not measurable. Yes, it's important culturally. Don't get me wrong. The street buzz is important culturally, but it's not measurable. We need measurable. We need numbers. Right? Yes, we have the international Billboard reggae chart. That's true. Right? But that's not the same as what Jamaica itself is consuming in Jamaica. What Jamaicans in Jamaica is consuming. Right? We have hits, people. I hope I can light a fire underneath, the people younger than me, right? I promise you I'll do my part. But I forget uncomfortable with this. Don't get comfortable with this. Because we have the hits, we have the culture, we have the impact. Okay, but we need something that converts our own Jamaican album sales or track purchases or streams into weekly album equivalent units. And I understand it's hard to, because people sell CDs and such on the side of the street. I understand it's hard. Maybe we can have an incentive for them. I don't know. To make them want to be able to track it. I don't know. You have to make people want to be able to do this. So it's going to take money from the government. It's going to take investment from the government. It's facts. That's the difference. Right? Here's the thing. A Jamaican artist can say, oh, yeah, man, my song hot, man. It's hot in the streets. But guess what? A US artist, them can say, you know what? My album did 20,000 units this week. Pure sales, TEA, and SEA combined. They can give you data. That is easier to market. That's easier to verify. That's easier for sponsors. That's easier for labels. That's easier for media. That's easy for history. Big up Chang for becoming a new member. To understand. And I'm not upset, people. Please don't think I'm upset. I know. People always say that when I talk like this, them think I'm upset. I'm not. Believe me, I'm not upset. I'm not upset. I'm still loving me. This is something that always used to hurt, like fingernails scratching on a chalkboard for me, right? Anyway, I ranted enough. Let's continue because we soon finish. Right. So, what is the RIAA? Again, it's the Recording Industry Association of America. Right? They certify gold albums, platinum album, multi-platinum album, diamond album. So this is the requirement for the US. Right? For gold album, 500,000 units. Platinum, 1 million. Multi-platinum, 2 million or 3 million plus. Right? Diamond, 10 million. Okay? What do? They measure the album sales, because a lot of you don't know what they do, and I realize that just from hearing you talk. You just say the word. I want you to know what they do, and you should actually know what they do. Good afternoon, guys. Ricardo. Good to hear you. Good to see you. Good to see you, buddy. Right? What does the RIAA do? Do you need to know what they do instead of you just saying the words, saying the the acronym? Right? They measure the album sales, the digital downloads, and the streaming equivalents. Right? This is what they. So, example, you can read it. Right? Pure album sales, the TAS, we talk about that already. So when people say Vibes Cartel has a gold record, right? Or them say Drake went platinum, they're referring to the certification issued by the RIAA for the US market. Okay. Now, there's similar organization in different countries. In the US, RIAA. It's still important to other countries though. Okay. United Kingdom, the British Phonographic Industry, the BPI. No, not pornographic, phonographic. Right? We have Music Canada here in Canada, right? And and Australia have the ARIA, right? Australian Recording Industry Association, right? We don't have an equivalent certification system with the same international recognition and transparency as RIAA, BPI, or Music Canada, Jamaica. Okay. I'm not upset, Kenny. I'm not upset at all. I'm not upset at all, my dear. So this is Miss Blue Fire, always taking you higher. I'm done. Guys, some of the other things that we're going to talk, we're going to deep into. I'll find out what, after the rest of you watch it on the playback, what topic you want me to dive into next. Because the thing is, I had to lightly touch different topics because a lot of the things that I said today deserves its own life, to be honest, right? And that's what's good about thinking. Because when you're thinking, you start thinking about what you're thinking sometimes. So it's a nice pastime. All right. Nobody wants to call in. I guess everybody who came in afterwards, like the live. Don't be mean. It's free. Bless you guys. Please enjoy your weekend. Please be safe. Right? And drink your water because there's heat waves going around the place. Right? People are falling down like flies. So drink some water. Okay? Drink your water and mind your business and make money. Big up on yourself, and thanks for being here. Blessings. This is Miss Blue Fire, always taking you higher. Later.
Fire Nation, listen to me. You don't log off and go back to playing small. You take what you learned and you execute. This is why Fire Nation exists. To rise higher, to build smarter, and to change the financial future of our families. I'm Miss Julia, A.K.A. Miss Blue Fire, always taking you higher. And wherever you go next, you carry our fire with you. Fire Nation, we rise, we build, and we're just getting started.